In this episode of It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room, I want to give a quick review on a new Netflix show, and we're going to grab a fistful of Joes, so stick around. Hello, and welcome to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. We're going to kick things off tonight with a quick review. Now, the show that I'm going to be talking about is new to Netflix, and it might not be up everybody's alley that watches this, but I think it deserves a shot, and that is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. See, that Riverdale show, I could give a crap about that. Archie, they've done everything with. I mean, ever since when they teamed him up with the Punisher, and now zombies and crap in the comic, the whole Riverdale thing it doesn't appeal to me at all. But me being into the supernatural and monsters and crap like that, I thought I'd give this a shot. And it's not tied into the Archie TV show at all, other than just a mention of Riverdale. But this is the adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and it's nothing like that show with Melissa Joan Hart from back in the day. Not at all. One of the first things you notice that's very cool is it's shot through the lens of Stephen King's 1950s. It's very aged with the cars and the clothes and the lingo, kinda. And there's only like 3 instances that I can think that it actually ties it to the modern world. But other than that, it seems like it takes place in the 50s, which is really cool. Now, all the acting is very good for the show, and it is dark, and it being on Netflix, I mean, there's a couple cuss words thrown around, but it's not like Game of Thrones territory or anything like that. But like I said, it's through a prism of Stephen King mixed with a CW show, if you will. It reminded me a lot of like the good parts of Supernatural and some of the bad parts of Supernatural, but that's a give and take because it was very interesting. They made the witches as a whole some nasty people. I mean, everything from just hedonistic tendencies to cannibalism. I mean, there's some dark stuff in this that when you really think about it, yeah, it's sketchy. Definitely not for kids, but I enjoyed it. Watched all, I think it's 10 episodes or whatever, and ready for a season 2. But it's kind of good mindless fun with some, like I said, some dark things that make you cringe a little bit. Not to give anything away, but this version of Salem is not the wisecracking puppet from the original show. He's a straight up awesome dude that protects Sabrina in some really dire situations. The show has monsters. It has the devil himself walking around, which his design's pretty tight. It could have been a little bit better, but all in all, very cool. And what kind of, we'll just say, network show do the heroes, if you will, instead of saying, oh, praise God, or, whatever, it's like, oh, praise Satan, this, and pentagrams everywhere, the devil marching around, like, it's all good. And I can't say the heroes because it's one of those villain hero, you can see their side, but you can't, one of those weird anti-hero character, I don't know. Because they do such a good job of fleshing out some of the characters that you see their motivations even though they're evil, and you can kind of see where they're coming from, but you can kind of see where the good guys are coming from, if you will. Like I said, one of the supernatural, like the show Supernatural from CW, aspects of it is that at the end of the day, everybody's touched by the supernatural, even if they know it or not, which is kind of cool. And, you know, I gotta give a shout out to, I think his name's Ross Lynch or whatever. He used to be on some Disney show, and like a teeny bopper, and acted of the caliber of a Disney show on the Disney Channel. But he really brings his A game in this, and he was a pretty darn good actor in it. So I really liked him. He played Harvey or whatever. But good show, many layers as it starts peeling away. I recommend it. Like I said, it could be mindless fun, or you could really get into it. But it's worth a shot, and like I said, probably a lot of the dudes and dudettes that watch this channel might not be into that kind of thing, but it's not like that whole Riverdale crap or teeny bopper crap. It's got really good supernatural elements to it. So I recommend it. I thought it was good. So check out the commercial and see what you think.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Barney Kinkle, the only person you're gonna scare is yourself.
Gotcha.
Good night, Harvey.
Good night, Sabrina.
In the town of Greendale, where it always feels like Halloween, there lived a girl who was half witch,
Absent omen.
half mortal, who, on her 16th birthday, would have to choose between two worlds, the witch world of her family and the human world of her friends.
Happy birthday, sweet 16.
And that girl is me.
Are you willing to forsake the path of light and follow the path of night?
It's very thousand to one. It's very thousand.
I can't do this.
You must.
I shall deliver Sabrina. You're going to die, half-breed.
Girls, let's not be catty bitches, hmm?
It's just that you've grown up before my very eyes.
You're a rebel, Spellman. That's how I like my witches.
Right. You turned into the prettiest.
I'm not an evil person,
thing.
but these are desperate times.
Happy birthday, sweet 16. Happy birthday, sweet 16.
My name is Sabrina Spellman, and I will not sign it away.
Would you like to do the honors?
With pleasure.
Rise. Rise.
Happy birthday, sweet 16.
Was on Hilda.
She annoyed me, so I killed her and buried her in the yard.
And we're back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial. I hope it gets you thinking about maybe watching the show. I mean, you have Netflix. What do you have to lose to just check out an episode? That's how I see it. You pay for it, you might as well just dive in and check out new stuff. But anyway, let's grab a fistful of Joes.
Yo, Joe!
Okay, if you don't know the deal, got me a box of Joes. I'm going to reach in and grab a random handful of them. Ooh, this one feels heavy. We'll see how many we got here. Okay. First is one of my favorite characters, of all time, Tunnel Rat. He's in really good shape. This is actually the one I've had since childhood. I'm surprised he's held up this long, but like I said, he's one of my favorite characters, and I've always took care of this and coveted this Joe. And we got his gear. His huge backpack, which kind of goes against the whole tunnel rat philosophy of slipping into tunnels. But he's got a huge backpack with 2 awesome flashlights on top. That seem to be jammed in there. Oh crap, I think I glued these because I didn't want to lose them. So they're glued in there, but still cool. So let's put that on his back. And another thing that kind of goes against the conventional tunnel rat slipping through the tight confines of the Vietnamese tunnel network is this huge gun. It's got a huge scope on it too, which is kind of odd because for a heavy machine gun like this, why would you actually need a scope? Wouldn't it be more spray and pray? But that's just me. Let's put that in his hands. But here he is, all geared up. Sorry if that's blurry at all. But one of my favorites of all time. So let's put him back in his little protective baggie and see who's next. Next is 25th Anniversary Spirit. Let's fix his, oh, okay. I never really got a chance to play around with them, but his, pigtails there, they have one going over the front and one going around the back. That's kind of neat, gives it a dynamic look. Very stoic expression. I don't know if it'll come across here without looking too darn blurry. Yeah, it looks way too blurry. But he looks like he's in deep contemplation. So, as a kid, I always wanted Spirit, and I never got him. I ended up getting I think it's the Slaughter's Marauders version of him. And he is lost to time. But, awesome big backpack with his flechettes, if we will, little quarrels. Because his rifle shoots like crossbow quarrels. So we'll put that in his hand. And he comes with Freedom, the eagle. And we'll put him up on the backpack here to get him all geared up here. Like I said, I always wanted this. I always wanted Spirit. He was an awesome character. Before they Oh, and he came with a knife that goes in his little leg sheath here. Very tiny. But before they like fleshed out Snake Eyes as like the mystic ninja kind of character, Spirit was like the butt kicker. He went toe-to-toe with Storm Shadow with martial arts in one of the second mini series, and he was like the cool dude. So I always thought he was awesome. I love the light blue shirt. I just think that like popped, made him look really awesome. Very different than some of the other Joes that were out at the time. And great backstory, great character, and I'm glad I was able to get the 25th anniversary version of him. Maybe one day I'll be able to get the OG, and let's hope. Now next is another one of my favorites of all time, which is odd because he's a medic. I like the medics for some reason, but Lifeline. There was just something about him when he came out that just seemed so new and alien and exciting. You know, with a rack of Joes there and I'm only allowed to get one, he's the one I picked. And it's just the red. I mean, like I said, he just stood out. It was something new for the collection. Cool backpack. Yet again, this is one I've had since I was a kid. Great shape because I took great care of them. And another neat thing, because you always want to get a dude with a lot of gear, or dudette with a lot of gear, he came with this medical kit here that opens up, and you have like oxygen tanks and, you know, probably compartments for bandages and such. And he came with this oxygen mask. So plugs right in here. So as a field medic figure, that's awesome. You could patch up your Joes, give them oxygen. But one thing that's kind of contradictory is that he's a pacifist. But he came with this big old hand cannon, and he's got a holster right there on his chest. So here he is with the gun, which goes against the character, but that was a gun that went to somebody else when I was a kid. But still love this character. Little loose in his waist, but all in all, great condition. Okay, next we have Battle Armor Cobra Commander. Another one I still have as a kid and in great condition. Still with the hose there for his helmet. And yes, as far as the comics go, not the true Cobra Commander. This was Fred in the outfit, one of the Crimson Guard that took over after Cobra Commander was quote-unquote killed, which he wasn't. But so yes, not really Cobra Commander, but as a kid it didn't matter. This was the next evolution of Cobra Commander. And usually when they went this route, it was kind of jumping the shark, but at least for me, it seemed to make sense. And he went from face mask to hood back to a metal mask. Here he is geared up with his little submachine gun there. His backpack that I always just assumed was like a jetpack. I always just came swooping into ruin Joe's day. But love this figure. Again, it has a lot of things that just make it stand out and pop. Everything from the blue color to the Cobra insignia there, the Cobra insignia on his belt buckle. If you can see, it might be blurry, but just dug this so much. And as a kid, this was the first Cobra Commander I had, so that made him more special to me. Now the last is another 25th anniversary, and it's another one I never had as a kid that I kind of live vicariously through this version of it, but it's the version 2 Snake Eyes. Never lucky enough to have him as a kid. It seemed like one of those characters that if it ever did hit the shelf, there were 20 dudes in line to buy it. I mean, everybody wanted him. The coolest character at the time. Came with a sword. Now, the sword that the 25th anniversary came with isn't accurate for the one that the original toy came with, which was more of like a scimitar, black scimitar that is awesome, but still pretty cool. He also came with, of course, his trademark Uzi. There he is, geared up with his sword and Uzi combo. But great character. I mean, one of the things about the 25th anniversary line, oh, and he also has a knife here in a sheath, that was cool was a lot of the things that were sculpted onto the originals, they added as a, like a belt or bandolier that was removable. You know, they took a, I mean, it's all 3D, but something that was molded and made it even more 3D on the character. But let's not forget one of the other things that made the original cool and this one cool was Timber. Which I just have to call out real quick. In the original mini-series, when Snake Eyes was left for dead, radiation poisoned, glowing red, and that old dude saves him, the old blind dude, and he saves Timber, or Snake Eyes saves Timber from the bear trap and all. When Snake Eyes finally returns to Joe Base, and he jumps out of the Jeep, and Timber jumps out of the Jeep, CoverGirl's right there going, "Oh, look at your wolf Timber. How'd she know the name? Snake Eyes can't talk." That always bugged me. Weird. Anyway, thanks for watching this episode of It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. We'll catch you next time. So until then, keep being rad, stay dorky, peace out. Thank you for watching this episode presented by My Side of the Laundry Room. Please check out some of these other recommended videos, and if you enjoyed what you've watched, please hit the subscribe button. You can also follow on Twitter, like on Facebook, and read up on My Side of the Laundry Room at our blog. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep being rad and stay dorky.